Hi, welcome to Bear Mountain. Today we're doing kind of a circle back on things. We've put out a few videos in the last few weeks on various things we've been doing here on the farm homestead, and we just kind of wanted to check back and see how things were growing, or see how things were doing, or if things that we thought might be a problem like the alstomeria are a problem. So we're going to go around and we're going to look at the various different things that we've done. So what you might notice is the first thing behind us, and this is our trees that we started a couple days ago. They're all doing well in their pots. We're also beginning to pot up some other things, so we'll cover those later. Let's first talk about the roses. These guys, the transplant went well. They're all starting to bud out. Usually at this point, if you've had a bad transplant, you'll know it. The plant doesn't really thrive. So these guys have got lots of good spring rain and they're doing well. Let's move on to the next thing, which is the anemones. Well, the anemones are starting to bloom a lot faster than I thought. I thought we'd get some more vegetative growth before they really started popping out blooms. We had to put a bird netting over it to protect from some squirrels that we've had a problem with digging, and they've still been able to kind of work on the outside. So some of these first blooms, this looks pretty sparse. I guess I was kind of hoping it'd fill in a little more. And that may be the fact that we used a heavier agribon than maybe we should have. Maybe if we try this again, we'll go with a lighter agribon like 30 or instead of the 50 that we had on hand. Other than that, these are out in the elements, so they get to get whipped around by whatever spring rains or hail or whatever that happens. And we're going to have to be raising this net up now that these things are blooming. But overall, we're starting to get some blooms out of them, and they'll keep producing till it gets hot. Let's go check out the asparagus. Okay, this is the first stage of the kitchen garden rebuild, and we'll put a link in you look at the little eye up in the corner to the video where we showed how we planted these guys. It's been 2 weeks since we put these guys in, and this was a no-till bed, so they're starting to germinate, and you kind of got to get down on your hands and knees and take a look, but they're starting to send up their fronds, which is pretty good. And these guys were all spaced about 2 feet apart on a staggered basis, 2 rows. So we've got fronds coming up. Now as soon as these guys get just a bit taller, maybe more about like that, and we'll put some more compost down. But this is moving along pretty good. So far from our count, it looks like at least 50% of them have germinated so far. Some of them had more buds that were a little more advanced than others, so we expect the rest of them to catch up pretty soon. On the kitchen garden rebuild itself, we've been a little stalled. Still digging out blackberries out of the front sector and making a big old pile of roots that we're going to have to get rid of. So we also have some beginning spring weeds in here that really flushed out in the last week. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be tarping all of the beds in here and probably run a scuffle hoe over the pathways to just kind of knock these weeds down. It's been a long time, so there's a big weed bank in here, so this is going to be a project over a long period of time to get rid of them all. But we'll get started on things. It's amazing how fast things grow this time of year. April, we get this rain, we've had great warm days, things are really moving. Let's go over and check the alstomeria. As you might remember, last week there was a challenge. I might be in trouble. Okay, it's been 1 week since we unveiled this box and took the plastic off, and things were really white. They're starting to green up, maybe a little slower than I thought. This variety, alstomeria, has always been leaners. It's never been a really straight stem, so I'm not too concerned about that. Probably what we're going to do is these guys green up even more. In another week or two, they'll probably be super green. If you look at a box right behind us over there, we'll take a snapshot of that one. That one had a tarp on it just a few weeks ago, and it's greened up pretty good. It's got a few weeds in it again.
Couple of lone tulips.
And a couple of orphan tulips. But so this should green up pretty good, and then probably what we'll do as it starts to grow up is we'll We'll put some string or netting out here to kind of keep it from flopping around too much.
But the sides are grown.
Yeah, everything is growing this time of year. It's really pumping up.
And there's the patch in the
There's the ground cover.
of
It's
it.
even got a blackberry.
Ooh.
This is something that's interesting. I don't know how many folks remember an old Paul Simon song about the lyric was something like a mother and child reunion. This is a pile of wood chips that we had some trees removed last fall, ground up good portions of it, and nature will find a way of coming back. So there was a lot of maple seeds that were shed on a tree that was out front by these trees that were ground up, and when I piled it up, now I've got the next generation. Now we're going to transplant these guys and save them. These are all big leaf maple trees, native to the Pacific Northwest, so that'll be a great addition someplace on the property. But I thought that was kind of appropriate, you know, like a chicken egg salad sandwich.
We're circling back.
We're circling back.
Cool.
Okay, this is the Peony project. Things didn't go as we had planned on this project. We really wanted, after we pulled the tarps off, to get it all composted up. But it had been so wet for the last month that we have not been able to get a load of compost in from our supplier. So that part of the project didn't happen, and neither the wood chip part of it. So we're at a point now where we're going to have to come back through and kind of do a collinear hoe, knock down the little weeds, maybe spread out the tarp on the side here to push the grass back a little more. Our coral charms have already budded up, so these guys are looking good. We may have to put a support string along the sides here to keep them from flopping around too much. But some of these guys might, we've got one in the back that is actually starting to show color. It's pretty wild. It's not even May yet. And these are our late season peonies. I mean, this is just the difference. These are the late guys. These guys just broke dormancy like probably a week and a half ago. And look at the difference between the early herbaceous and the late. Pretty tremendous.
And
Row on the outside is our intermediate ones. So they're kind of mid-season.
mid-season, right?
And they're moving along pretty good too. So very interesting, just looking at the difference between early, mid, and late.
This also really shows that nature doesn't wait for us.
No, she doesn't care what your schedule is. She's got her own ideas.
She's got her own ideas.
So, want to thank you for watching today. And if you're not a subscriber and you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit the like button if you would. And also, too, leave a comment if you need to, or like to. We always appreciate that. And want to thank you again for watching today. And take care and have a good day.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.